billion-dollar table. Today we are with AB. My brother is a leader. He's a warrior. He's a trainer, and he's a marketer. There is a lot to talk about, and I'm so grateful to have him here so we can discuss a lot of points that will really inspire you and hopefully will make your life better. Brother AB, thank you so much for coming. That's mean a lot to us, brother.
I appreciate you, Al.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's the greatness.
So how Al and Al.
Yes, sir. You see?
That's my nickname.
That's a alignment.
Yeah, I'm big on that divine alignment. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So how you introduce yourself, King?
Man, I introduced myself as AB, owner of ABX Elite Sports Management, ABX Elite Sports Training. From New Orleans, born and raised, the heart of New Orleans. 30 years old. So one thing I would say is growing up in New Orleans is all about resiliency. It's nothing you haven't seen, nothing you can't defeat. Something we really focus on within my company is speed development. On the marketing side, we focus on not just guiding athletes on the athletic side, but guiding their careers and helping them make money off the field as they're productive on the field.
That's greatness, man. That's great. Yeah. So everybody see the glory though, but they don't know the story.
Yeah.
Right. So growing up in New Orleans, and I mean, we know it's one of the most dangerous cities in the United States, right? So how that looks like, and what the story of, like, what's your story, brother?
That's beautiful you asked that, bro, because too often I get lost in the process of going and not reflecting enough, as a lot of people do, as we trying to, make it out and go so far from where we came. But growing up in New Orleans, like I mentioned to you before we got on the camera, it's a lot of crime. It's a lot of people who's out here want to be a part of your process. It's a crab in a bucket type of, mentality within our city because it is so small and not a lot of people make it out.
Right.
But you come desensitized to crime, seeing so much, and you kind of victimize yourself. When I say that is, you kind of think it's normal to see wrongdoings and seeing people killed, or seeing mishaps go about. But when you get in other type of settings, other places of society, you realize it's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not normal. So something that was good and therapeutic for me is sports.
Right.
Using that to guide myself out of the situation and the environment I came in. I never let my environment become or dictate who I was going to be.
That's great.
That's huge.
That's a big time, because what I know is we are shaped by our environment. We are basically a product for our environment.
Yeah.
So just for maybe a short time, can you explain how did you overcome all this, and what type of, what experience you have growing up, how you grow up? You grow up in a setup situation, your family rich, the car is ready, you're going to school. How it looks like growing up? Yeah,
I grew up with my mom and my uncle. It's my mom's brother. He was killed when I was 11 years old. He was pretty much my dad.
Wow.
He was
Sorry,
killed.
Brother.
No, it's all good, my brother, man. He was killed in night war. We found him underneath that house, shot 7 times. So that was the only father figure I had. So as a kid, that kind of did a lot to me. And I didn't realize I was 26 years old when I did therapy, how much it affected me back then.
Right.
Because when you're a kid, people don't ask you how you feel.
Sure.
You just
keep going with it.
You just keep going.
Yeah.
But what that kind of did to me, man, put a certain motivation within me, because I had to become the leader of my family. And like you said, you are your environment, but your environment doesn't dictate what you will become.
Of course.
A famous quote Jay-Z says, that a lot of people say I changed, but you think I worked this hard to stay the same.
True.
It's like who we are isn't based on environment. It's not too far from where we came. And it does have influence of who we come to a certain extent, but we do have the strength and, God willing, the power that he gives us to dictate how your future could become.
And this is powerful, like you said, on 26, to go to therapy to release or to figure out how to fix that. Because personally, I've seen a lot of men today that they don't even get the courage to really release or to talk about what's going on in the past. So you see like a man, mad, angry, like he just doesn't understand what is going on with him, but he just operates on the pain that he hold back, So do you think it's really helpful for somebody to take care of his mental health, or like that's because in our culture, people, they don't care though. They think it's something that's really not necessary.
Yeah.
So do you really think that as a man or even a woman that really needs to release that energy to feel better or to become better?
100%. And it depends on what we perceive manhood as being. I think everyone has their own interpretation. Like back in the day, being a man was to embody hardship and just keep going.
Right.
But I perceive a man as not just being a provider, but also being in tune with yourself emotionally.
True.
It's not about how much can you take on, but how much can you let go also.
That's powerful though.
Yeah.
That's great. And I think, as you said, like you are the leader, you did that for your family first because you know that you are in a position of leading right now, so you cannot mess up. You have to do it correctly, right?
Yeah.
So by you carrying all this responsibility on you, right? How do you become the trainer right now that people look up to and they just want to work with you regardless, however the opportunity look like?
Kind of similar to how your story was. And I think your story is pretty powerful too, how you mentioned how your brother passed, but it's like you can't get lost in what kind of put you in that position. You got to make your story your testimony. So it was more so of understanding what I had to learn to get better and articulate to other people, to where, especially young kids, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I made. And it's two ways you learn in this world. It's only two ways. Either learn from your mistakes or you learn from other people's mistakes.
Right.
So it's like which one you want to have your hardship.
True. Like I heard my mentor one time say, a smart man learn from his mistake. Wise man learn from people's mistakes.
Yep.
So this is great.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, to be honest, also, I call you a warrior when we first start because, I mean, I've been here only for 8 years in this country. And I mean, I've been in a really a bad situation as well, let's say. And it was like terrible as well. But when I came here and I start to see people around me, I'm like, wow, like how much it takes for people in the United States to be successful. People think on TV, it sounds so easy. It's the land of opportunity. Like you get into the airport, they give you an opportunity in a bag.
And it depends where you go. New York is where opportunities die, I feel.
Right.
It's like it's hard to survive out there.
Right. But, I mean, the fastest the city, I think, because we're not prepared. Like personally, as me, I came from like third world country. People like super laid back, So when you go to fast-paced city, I'm like, damn, bro, like these people, they really killing it in order to get there. So that's why I really appreciate that. And I respect what you did because I don't see a lot of people right now doing it. And I respect that a lot, bro.
Yeah.
So there is...
Real quick, let me ask you a question because I talk about growing up in poverty, but you come from literally a third world country. It's a big difference in terms of me saying I come from a low income environment opposed to what you really seen, right? Like, what's the difference you feel like coming to coming to New Orleans,
right?
And seeing the difference between the low income areas,
right? So, and where I'm from, it's not just the money, it's more than. Okay, let's take it like this way, and where I'm from, is not the money, is to survive, is not to make it, it's just to make your day, you know what I'm saying? So the difference is
day by day.
Right, the limitation. Like here, people, when you have a dream, he have like a dream of like becoming a billionaire. Right now, when I'm telling my dad, let's say, he's like, man, you have to come down. You have to take, I'm like, brother, I'm like, man, I love you. I respect you, but I want to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a millionaire no more. I don't want to be good. I want to be great, So saying this word to somebody who doesn't see it and doesn't accept it, it sounds like sometimes a greediness, but for me, as I was saying, I came from a place that how can I make today done? Like how I can how can I figure out this day and this payment this week so I can survive to the next, because I can't see farther. I can't see further than what I know, as you said. So the first time I came here, I'm like, so I was driving from the east side on the bridge, right? So with the
East
first
New Orleans?
I lived on Madison for like almost 2 years. So, man, I have a friend. He came pick me up for the first time in my life, right? I'm in the car in the United States, you know, and I'm on the bridge. So what I seen this building from the bridge. I'm like, man, this is what I see in a movie. He's like, come down. I'm like, bro, like, this is so cool. We going there? He's like, no, man, we going somewhere else. So I'm like, yo. And when I met up with my wife, we went to Miami, bro. You know, the first time I got into, you know, we used to play GTA. GTA is all about Miami. Yeah. So I only seen this stuff. I couldn't even believe this is real stuff. So when we get there, I'm like, damn, bro, like this is too, like, who owned this? Yeah. So the difference is now here, I can see me, why I'm working, like why I'm grinding too fast, like why I'm running too hard, because I can see people having it, but back home you can't see them. You can't see somebody who have like a Lamborghini. It's not there. You know, you can't see a Rolls Royce every 10 minutes. You know, it's not there. So your really biggest target is to have maybe like a fake whatever watch looks like, and whatever can feed your kids or your home. And that's what I think the difference is. There is super limitation for your creativity, your mindset, and who you can become in there. Here you already own it. Like you own it. You are one decision. This my mentor told me. Yes. You are one decision away from totally different life. The decision was, I was refugee. My story was, I'm a refugee to become who I am. So change the story. You change your life, you know? And that's where I think things start to become different, because I break through that limit, you know, which is, I think a lot of people has a mental limitation, you know, but the difference between they can or they can't, the limitation I have, is to believe there is something that I can dream of bigger than what I have, you know? So I think here really it's,
that's why we can't let our environment dictate who we become, because one thing you can change is where you sit.
Right.
I could change if I want to sit here over there.
True. And like a bottle of water, if you bought it from Walmart is $1. If you go to the airport, it's $3. You know, if you go, it's like we position ourselves. The value
increases depending on where that bottle resides in that bottle of water.
You see, and I think also like if we look to Jesus, right? Environment, it didn't like the dictator was saying, he bring a new message to the whole universe. You know, so our environment is shape who we are. But they don't, as you say, they cannot decide who we are going to become if we don't allow them, you know? So, bro, there is a lot also of money, you know, being made money, transaction coming in and coming out, right? And I mean, we all like money. Let's go to it. But what money means to you today?
That point, that's a good question. Money I perceive money as a resource. A resource is a tool. Of course, I want to make money. I got some friends who want to be millionaires, some friends want to be billionaires, which is fine. Everyone has a certain standard of life they want to live. But I focus on providing more value.
Right.
And whoever's meant for me in terms of what God wants to deliver, he's going to give it to me. But I'm very conscious of whatever I do have, I take care of it to the best of my ability.
Right.
When I walk out of my house, you wouldn't be able to tell if I have $10 in my pocket or $1,000 in my pocket.
Right.
It's just because I take pride in taking care of what I have in order to acquire more. So that's one thing I'm big on, man.
I mean, and
he's been blessing me because of that type of mindset.
Absolutely,
I picked up on.
This is a key word. Like, this is a secret though. Like, a lot of people ask for more when they don't even care about what they do have. They don't give attention. They don't give it thanks. They don't appreciate what they have. And I think one of the statement I read one time is, the more you're grateful, the more you have. Like, if you're being grateful on what you have, your kids, for example, like I see a lot of people, they blessed with kids, but they're not grateful for their kids. They are mad of their kids. They angry of their kids, you know, and they tell you, man, I have the worst kids. So imagine God will send you a better kids. No way, because you're not even grateful for the first one.
You got to take what you have.
So so how you learn that? How you learn this, like this strategy of taking care of things?
That's crazy, because I do not know, because I remember when I first started training, man, this before I purchased facilities, before I had consistent clientele.
Right.
I probably have $20 in my pocket to last me for the week, and I just had my daughter. But one thing I would do is not just take care of everything within my household. I had the specific car. It was an 03 Toyota Camry.
Yo.
I would clean that car every damn week like it was a big body Benz.
Well, God did.
Because I just know I had to take care of it, bro. In order to, I don't know what came over me, but it's just something within me, man. I just always wanted to learn more, acquire more at a young age. I mean, I was 11 years old walking to church by myself. I just always had it in me too. I just wanted to know more.
And I feel like you have like the divine spirit always, like even in your words, you always mention God. And so what faith, like how like what faith means to you, believing in this high level, high energy and in God?
Faith is who I am. It's who we all are. You know, you strip us down to like the bare minimum till we have nothing. It's like faith is just what you value. It's what you do often. It's the consistency in terms of the type of people you surround yourself around. Like you said, I believe in divine alignment. So if I'm consistently around somebody and I send them often, I feel like God is sending a message to me and them to where we have to connect to create something more powerful. Right. And sometimes in the moment, I might not know what it is. I'm gonna make sure we have lunch. I'm gonna make sure like we speaking often, just to make sure like if we're on the same frequency, something's gonna come out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. I like that because I think like with no faith, there is nothing gonna be done. Like there is a lot. People give up because the faith. I believe so because they don't have faith in themselves or in what they're doing, and they that's I think the number one reason why people are giving up because they don't believe enough in what they do have. Yeah. So
I, before we exit this subject, I do want to say like, because I know there's a lot of kids out there, a lot of people in general who's always chasing self-development, but it's counterproductive and it's almost hustling backwards if you're chasing development externally in terms of ways to get it, ways to get to your money, but you're not focused on internal spiritual development.
Right.
Because you can only attract what you know of yourself. It's like if you don't know yourself, then it's like you're going against the grain. Like the greatest, I feel like the greatest disservice you can do to yourself is hustle going the wrong way. If you work internally, whatever's for your outward is going to come towards you.
Wow. Yeah. So that's crazy, brother, because I think, we first learn about the law of attraction, that we think about it manifested, we work. Then I got a course one time about the manifestation. The manifestation is a little bit different of the law of attraction, which is exactly what you just said. He said, imagine, the first thing he said, he's like, imagine the guy when he want to fish, the fisher, imagine he's jumping into the ocean to catch the fish. It's impossible. It's the only thing he does is just to get the food in order to attract the fish. So you need the value, like even like
that one.
You see, like there is a flower and a bee. So if you need the bee, you don't need to fucking follow the bee. You have to see the flowers, right? So he said, I have a whole garden of flowers for my bee because I know I'm the only one who get in it. So talking about it is really, and this is what Jim Rohn one time said. He said, work on yourself harder than you work on your business.
Yes.
And I think this is what you mean by it, because when you become the wealth will manifest your life. But if you're working, as you say, doing the right thing, whatever you're selling, dope, doing something, working anywhere around it, you may make the money, but you will never make a man. You will never make like you will never meet that divine and harmonize with the vision that could be not just a millionaire, as you say, the billionaire, And I think that's when people like get to a point that they think they used to dream of, but they get there super like unhappy, or they feel like a lot of pain because they don't know that's what they're doing right now is, what they have choose or the decision they made was not the right one, right? So I think this is what most of the people like really missing is divine direction, right?
So 2 years ago, it was one of the biggest decisions I had to make ever. I let my gym go, and because during that time, it was something I always wanted myself. But before I even purchased that gym, I prayed about it, and something told me not to do it, but I wanted it. So I went ahead and purchased the gym. This was COVID year. Over that course of summer, I made $120,000 training. It might be hard for a lot of people to wrap their head about in terms of training, but I did that in 3 months. So I went ahead and took that money that I made and I invested into this gym.
Right.
So during my course and my tenure of the gym, it's like I was doing so much for other people.
Right.
I was doing so much in terms of putting extra energy towards developing something that I wanted.
Right.
But something I learned as I came towards the tail end of my lease at that time is that I wasn't supposed to be here. And the reason I say that in terms of right now, because during that time, I realized I was actively depressed, but still functioning highly. I realized relationships were failing. I realized I was not seeing my kids. I realized this other business adventure in terms of my sports marketing company was not flourishing.
Right.
Because it was something, taking on the gym during that time was something I wanted to do. And not saying it wasn't meant to be within my cards, but wasn't meant to be in my cards right then and there. Because
that's our time.
I feel like God told me, not yet.
Right.
So fast forward where I'm at now, my income has doubled. I spend more time with my kids. I spend more time nurturing my relationship with God. I feel like just during this entire experience, it's like I've been flourishing more as a human being. And that way I've been able to attract more things within my life. I've made some relationships now, man, that I've never made within the 3 years of having that time.
That's powerful, brother.
But that's the importance of listening and praying to God. And
so what you learned from that?
I learned the same thing that I learned when I was 20 years old and I had a Toyota Camry. Take care of what you have now in order to be blessed with more. And then when you're blessed with more, I feel like it's going to be set at your feet. There's no sense of you having to press, oh, God, I want this. He's like, listen to me. And I'm like, no, listen to me. And watch this. I'm going to prove you that I can do this.
And that's deep, man, because I think
it's a tug of war.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Especially when people, I think it's sometimes we have to let God do his job, you know? Like, I think it takes a little bit of courage to, I mean, what I'm listening right now, sometimes because you know, I think it's where the ego start at, like the level of what I think about me only, not us, not we, you know? And as you said, like, because I want it, you know, and you really want it, you know, in order when he was telling you, like, you have to wait. And I think, I mean, I've been selfish a lot in so many decisions I made, and I paid the price for sure. Exactly how you did, because I want to do something that was not my term yet. You know, because I think, you know, I mean, now I learn, I mean, there is so much people that they get in things, you know, I'm like, yo, do you really want to, I'm like, no, it's not, like, this is not my time right now. I don't want to do it now. I want to do it at the perfect time. So
timing is everything. It's a lot of ways you get rich. You could get rich doing wrong out here quickly. But
you can't stay rich, though.
As quick as you get, as quick as you can lose it.
You know, Grant Cardone said one time also, he said, you can't get rich by accident, but you can't stay rich by accident. You know, that will never happen. Like, just to keep the money is knowledge, is skill, you know? To get the money is easy. You can do a lot of things, like right or bad. So there is a challenges in this way, though. In your journey, there is it's not a smooth ride, right? So what's the biggest challenge that you face on this journey? And how you overcome it?
The biggest challenge I've faced along this journey so far, I would say to kind of recalibrate yourself constantly, to reinvent yourself. Because I would say in life, we're constantly shedding. And as human beings, I feel like one thing we never want to do is stop at that red light. I feel like we always want to keep our foot on the gas pedal. So knowing when to stop, knowing when to take a few steps back, and knowing when to go. I would say that's the most challenging thing, especially when I'm 30, you know, I'm not too young, but I'm young enough to where I could still be
on the gas
patient.
all the time.
I can't always have my foot on the gas because sometimes you be going fast down the wrong direction.
Right. So how you overcome it? Like what did you learn in order to maybe hold yourself accountable to not do the wrong decision?
It goes back to prayer.
Right.
My relationship with God.
Right.
I feel like as a man, you got to be anchored in that, because, you know, we're leading families, but who's going to lead us if you don't have that?
Story.
It's that voice that's just whispering in your ear, just let you know, okay, this is meant for you right now. I got something for you. So be patient. That's what I would say my relationship with God, which
Man, this is power. So there is a lot of coaches though, a lot around there. There's a lot of people trying to be coach. They want to be coach. They want to coach. At least they want to get to have what you got right now or what you get. So what separates you from like all these people to become who you are?
The value.
Right.
The value. There's a lot of people who specify in coaching, like you said, but I would say it's find one specific niche that you focus on. Like I was in a space where I focus on athletic development. But I realized that was too broad. All right. So I focus on speed. And now I am obsessed with learning speed and getting my athletes faster. Wow. Like you see a workout, sometimes I have to tell my athletes, if I don't tell you nothing, it's because I don't care about you.
Right.
I want to be just as great as you are. So if I want to be just as great as you are, I'm going to be on your ass.
Right.
I'm going to make sure like you understand the small things. So we have 3 values we stand on. And it's character development,
right?
On skill development in terms of paying attention to details, and number 3 is just hustle work ethic.
Biggest.
So yeah, because you got to train people to. One thing about people I realize, bro, people don't always support what you do, but they support you, and they feel like you're really investing into it, like you're passionate about it. They're more likely to latch on to whatever you have, and you have more long-term customers.
That's true.
Yeah.
So who's the biggest names that you think you work with?
Jamar Chase. Leonard Fournette, Bobby Wagner.
Let's fucking go.
Yes, right now, I've converted it to, like I said, go from sports performance to lead my kids to different, more of different lanes outside of sports. I have Harlem Barry, who's the #1 running back in the nation, coming out of high school. He's at LSU. So
that's powerful.
We've definitely come a long way, bro. I would say
that's great.
To God be the glory. Yep.
So in this time, there is a lot of people also want some advice from you. You know, they want some motivational, maybe words or something that's allowed them to know they can. So if they are here right now and they want this message from you, what you tell the kids now?
Keep shooting.
Right.
Keep shooting, keep swinging. Whatever sport you love, soccer, keep kicking. And I say that because there's a lot of sports where you realize baseball specifically is a sport where you could be very successful, but once you want to only swing and hit 30% of the balls.
Right.
So to let you know, it's like you could be successful and you never know what home run you might hit. Just keep swinging. Don't get discouraged over how many times you miss, how many plays you mess up on, how many opportunities you may feel like you passed up on. Just keep swinging, man. You never know. God might have that one ball he's throwing at you and that's meant just for you and gonna knock it out of the park.
That's powerful.
Yeah, bro.
So you was telling me about the musician, the warrior, the lover.
Yeah.
Can you how you tell people that?
Yeah. So I'm big on not just athletic development, but manhood development. Where as a woman, I don't like to give women advice from a male perspective, but it could be womanhood development. But there's 4 archetypes of human beings I feel like we always have to work on. I'm big on working things in harmony because if you focus on just one attribute of your life, something else is going to suffer. Never isolate things. So number 1 is being a king. Being a king is always knowing who you are.
Right.
Yeah, self-affirming yourself, affirmations.
That's
number 2 as a man, just knowing that you're a warrior. Knowing when to put that armor on. Number 3 is knowing you're a lover. Knowing when to take your armor off.
Right.
And number 4 is always knowing that you're also a magician. And when I say a magician, in terms of just believing God delivers and he provides the magic that you use, and that's wisdom.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So 4 archetypes, I feel.
I love that, man. I think I study that in a different way because, but how the way you say it is a must because the man who doesn't know himself, I think he's not adult yet. He's still a boy.
Yes.
Because people they always, behave as like I am the ego because they act like I am, but that's an ego level because they have not discovered, they didn't spend 10 minutes with themselves, right? Yeah. And as we just been talking before.
And they talk, so what I'm saying in terms of archetypes, that's in this specific book and they elaborate on that. The man who doesn't really know himself is still a boy trying to act in mannish ways. So you're right.
Because that's the king. I mean, in order to become a king, you have to know how people can love you if you don't know who you are. How can you love them? How can you love yourself? If you don't know what you need, what you don't need, what you like, what hurts you, what makes you mad. If those stuff is not too clear, I think there is always things will hold you back in your journey. But we've been also talking about the athletes and, the story, the history of all of us, because we maybe not, we have the skill, but sometimes we don't have the mindset, what do you think the athletes today, biggest challenge? Okay, let me ask the question in a different way. What the biggest challenge that the athletes facing today in your perspective?
Mindset development.
Mindset.
So once I get every athlete that comes to my program, I show them this image I have on the board right now.
Right.
There's 2 letters, but there's 3 types of people only in this world. Only 3. Only thing that separates us is characteristic traits.
Of course.
What type of food you like, I don't like.
Right.
So there's these 2 letters I use, B and there's an A. All right. And there's an M on top, and M represents mentality and the A represents athleticism. So in terms of 3 different tiers of athlete, there's a BB athlete who has a B-level mentality and A-level athleticism.
Yeah.
And these are the type of people, no matter how much you try to push something down their throat, it just won't resonate. And that's the misfortune of it. You can't help everybody.
Absolutely.
The second tier is the people who have an A-level mindset, but probably a B-level athleticism.
Skills.
All right. Skill set. Yeah, it could be skill set, because this translates to business world too.
Right.
Those guys will someday catch up to this next tier, who is the A type of people. Right. Who have just the athletic ability, skill set, or the mentality. Yeah. Some people like that, say LeBrons of the world. They're just another stratosphere. Right. But the thing about it is this middle tier, sometimes you may not be there, but the persistency they have, someday you're going to be sitting at the same table. Probably giving that Michael Jordan athlete, LeBron athlete, or a deal. Right. That they can eat of. So based off of that, it's not about where you are, it's about just the persistency. And like I said, I take that and teach my athletes, because you choose which one you're going to be. So in your perspective, what's more important in the athlete, mindset or skill? Both are important, equally important, like for sure. Equally? But genetically, some things we just can't control. Fact. So it's like mentality is A. Because there is a short guys, I think they are big. I mean, they have a big mindset. I mean, talk to me. No, that's true. Talk to me. That's true. If you want to come join Speed School, I get your 40 up and then I can take you somewhere. But no, you're right, man, because the last thing you want to tell somebody is they're not capable. Right. Because no matter what type of stadium you put this information in terms of what I'm going to feed you for you to be better, you're going to get the same outcome. Yeah. It might not be going to the NFL, the MLB, but maybe you might run a Fortune 500 company one day. Right. So it's just understanding who your athlete is or who your person is in general, and understand just how to talk to that person, because you can't talk to everybody the same. True. Yeah. So like maybe 70% mindset and 30% skills, or 40-60? I would say that's a good question. Right. Skill is important. 100%. It is important. Right. But I would say, if you have the mindset, do you think you can build a skill? Yes. If you don't have the skill, if you don't have the mindset, can you build it? Yes. You could build the mindset. In some ways. In some ways. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you're one of those people who no matter how much I give you, just won't reciprocate it, you kind of go so far with that person. Right. But there's this person right here in terms of this second tier again, who probably do want to take that information and go forward. And they probably only have 30-35% of the skill set. Right. But it would be made up down the line. Facts. It'll be made up. So yes, I'd say about 35% skill set. Let's get as close as we could to 50%. Yeah, that's powerful though. Yeah. That's what I always like. Any match I watch, and I always want to know that, like what making this guy special. Yeah. It's not, even one time at Tony Robbins, he met with Michael Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, man, what's up, man? Like, it's you're not the fastest, you're not the biggest, you're not the strongest. Like, how you making all this history, how you winning over? He's like, man, I'm waking up every day to become better than me of yesterday. But everybody trying to be me. And that's why we always have a flag between, and listening to that, I think it's not just a skill. Is like, because he does 1,500 times, he say, for the same shoot all the time, So this skill can be built, like anybody could maybe decide to spend 1,500 shot time, on a field. But I think the numbers of greatness, or to become the GOAT,
like how he is right now, I think he has the GOAT mindset.
Yeah.
Like that's the question I always ask myself when I look to like to a UFC right now. You know, you see this hard dude who's like, he can make you think this guy gonna eat him. You know, boom, you see the short guy, he's just winning.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. And see, I love, one thing about me, I love the underdog. I love the shorter people.
You see?
Because this is why. That guy who lacks height, he's gonna make up for it somewhere else.
Okay.
So I will go whisper in my athlete ear. So let's say I have two athletes right here. Like this kid is about 5'8", 160 pounds. And this guy was about 6'4", 220. He's going to take some reps off. So when he starts taking reps off, that's when you make sure you double down on your work ethic.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to be on his heels. And the more he keep taking reps off, some point you'll surpass him.
Fact.
And this shorter kid's going to do that because he know he has to make up in terms of what he lacked physically somewhere.
Right.
So that's, oh man, I love what?
Man. I mean, I'm ready, like, not because I'm short though. I'm not making marketing for myself, but I'm really want to try. Like I always, as a life coach, I think this is something I always want to know, because when I get questions, I would love to answer, the right, because I'm not going to answer the wrong one, you know? So the right answer is always good. And I mean, you are the right people to ask, you know, you are the perfect man to ask him. So in a business course, I learned also that the leader, you know, he feeds energy for all the company, you know? And even when we're looking like for a trainer right now, or a coach, or a leader in let's say in a city or whatever, this city or this business or corporation is operating from that energy, you know, like the pyramid, when you see the pyramid. So how important your energy, your mindset to you in order when you coaching these people, like how you separate yourself from, let's say, home, from your like your personal goals, from your personal dreams, and you go there in a warrior energy or in a warrior mode, so they you can transfer this energy to them, so they can operate on it. Yeah. So how you do that?
In terms of my athletes or anybody in general? I
mean, how you do it in life?
Yeah. So you're saying like, how do I just know when to take that armor off and approach a different role?
I mean, what I think, let's say right now, I'm here in New Orleans. I love the Saints, all love and respect for y'all. But I think these people, they're not winning, bro. You know? And in my perspective, I put the responsibility on the coach, you know? I mean, I see people spending money every time they go to watch the game, and they're coming back super, like, they so sad.
They take person down here.
It's not just down here. I mean, everywhere in the world, though.
Yeah.
If you go to like any other world, if you see the soccer game, people crying after that.
Sports.
You know? Yes, sport is always personal, you know? But I think, I'm serious of that. I think the people in the sense, like, I watched the game, bro. I think I don't know. Like, I think they're not working to play, like to win. You know? Yeah. So in my perspective, this is the responsibility of the coach. I don't know if he's going to see it, he's going to sue me or whatever. But what I think, I say as my perspective. So because, you know, even Eric Thomas said, the winners win, a loser lose, right? And in my perspective, somebody has to take initiative and be responsible. I'm like, yo, I am putting this energy in this team. I have to get out, or I have to change me. You know, this is the only way this game would change in this hand, you know, or one guy will come new to the game to bring everybody frequency to the up level. Yeah. Without this, I believe without change will never happen. Yeah. So, and as a leader, how you bring the winning energy everywhere you go, so you make sure these people will win. Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, I make sure I take time out for myself every single day. That's fact. Yeah, so I wake up 4:30 not because I love it. I wake up 4:30 because I know the responsibility I have on not just younger people, but just anyone who's within my presence to impact. Right. So I take that real serious. So I wake up and just focus on, like I said, prayer, meditation, and I work out. So I take that, and it allows me to put myself in a position to when I speak, I could speak profoundly. I could speak with pride. I could speak with dignity, passionately, because I'm doing it and I know the outcome it gives us. So I think in terms of, to answer your question more directly, it's critical to be able to resonate with those type of athletes. So the main thing you have to do is be able to do the work yourself. So I'm big on that. You got to do the work yourself. That's powerful, man. Yeah, you have to be the example. Yeah. And I really respect that. I mean, meditation, like of course we pray, and I think prayer is meditation. It's something powerful. I respect it a lot, and it really helps me a lot. So what do you think, the question that I did not ask you?
I think you covered a lot, bro.
Yeah, I know, but do you have like something that you really want to put it out there that you did not?
That's the best conversation I had in a long time.
You sure?
You're a high functioning guy. I really give you that, man.
I really appreciate it.
And in
bro.
society, a lot of people focus on high quality.
Right.
But I feel like if you're a high functioning man, it leads to being quality, having better results. The money comes to you. So I salute you and what you're doing, brother.
I really appreciate you a lot. And I mean, shout out to Soul, to Sean. I mean,
guys, man.
Bro, they really plus me, and I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity, and I'm blessed to have you in my house, brother.
Likewise, man.
Brother, do you have anything for the youth of New Orleans that are watching us right now?
I hope they gravitate to what I said earlier. Keep swinging, keep shooting. Keep being you. Don't get lost in what other people around you are doing. I feel like that's really common nowadays, especially with the social media age. Be true to yourself. You might not be where you want to be right now, but your time is coming, baby. I promise.
And I believe it. So I believe AB is a great example for a real leader. And that's for you to take initiative and to take the first step toward your goals, to your new self. And all what you need is knowledge. If you know how, you're going to do it. But if you always have an excuse, you will always be in the same place. And that's why I'm bringing in great people every time, for you to know more so you can become more. So we all going to get to the top together. I remember that always God first, and I will see you at the top.